So permit me this morning to quickly call on our first speaker, Ambassador Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya from Nigeria, and he will be sharing with us on the roles of an effective father and son's relationship. Mr. Odukoya Olaniyi Olalekan is a lecturer at Ogun State Institute of Technology, Igbesa, Ogun State, Nigeria, a tax practitioner and entrepreneur of excellence. Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya has worked in the private organization and presently a tax office manager at Ogun State International Revenue Service, Nigeria, finance and management consultant. He's also the CEO of NACOFAST Consults and NACOFAST Model Academy, a citadel of knowledge, and he is a fellow of FCMA and presently running his PhD in accounting at Crawford University. So, permit me this morning to welcome Mr. Odukoya Olaniyi to share with us on this platform. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, my excellent queen. It's always a pleasure coming to this your esteemed platform to share with our people. I want to welcome every one of us. It's another beautiful day, another beautiful time to share knowledge. Quickly this morning, I will be discussing on the role of an effective father-son relationship. You can see that for a long time, we've been on relationship because life itself is about relationship. How we are able to get much in life is a product of our relationship. If you claim that you have made it in life, you can't make it alone. Whatever you are doing in life today, someone, somehow, you will have been introduced to that thing. Even if it's a trade you are learning, somebody will introduce you to, somebody is going to teach you, and you have to have a cordial relationship with that person for you to profit from whatever line of business you are in. But today we want to narrow it down to father-son relationship, meaning that how will the father assist the son in realizing himself that he is a guy, he is a male, he has responsibility in life. So the relationship between a father and a son, it usually plays a crucial role in the emotional, psychological, and social development of that son. So I want us to take note of that. It will play a vital role in the emotional, the psychological well-being of that son, and the social development of the son. And this is a kind of dynamics that has a multi-faces, and it will evolve over time. It's not a one-day thing. It's going to come up as a process within the process of time. And within that process of time, it will shaping the son's identity, value, and also his behavior. Please, I want us to look at, we're saying that it will have impact on his emotion, psychology, and development. If there is a cordial relationship between father and son, then the identity of the son will be shaping. And we talk of value and behavior. What is the essence of identity without value? Any behavior that we exhibit, the impact of that behavior on the other person will create either a value change. If you exhibit a kind of behavior and nobody is gaining from it, and it's not worth it. Now, I want to try and I want us to look at it and narrow it down to the impact of an effective father-son relationship. And I'll be looking at it from different perspectives, but like I'll be considering the emotional support and bonding that is supposed to exist between the father and the son. That's one of the things I'll look at. Then I also talk on masculinity, that from masculine, the development and that of identity, masculinity. Then we also look at academic and professional guidance. As a father, you need to guide your social and moral development. We also look at that, and we also consider enhancement of life skill, the skill that the son need to have, so that he will be able to be reasonable in life. So we must consider some of these things so that it will be useful in the course of his day-to-day activities. Now, let me quickly just kick off by looking at the relationship between father. What do we intend to really give? Now, we'll start with the emotional support and bonding. That is very important between the father and son. Now, under that emotional support and bonding, we're going to consider two major things. Number one, the emotional security and moral and role modeling. Emotional security and role modeling. Now, when we say a father should give the son emotional support and bonding, now, the emotional security, as a strong father or as a father that has a son, you need to provide that son with a sense of emotional security. You are to be in the forefront of things for him while he's developing through from the tender teenage before he gets to adolescence, and he's able to take care of himself. So the father must be emotionally available, and he must express love and affection in order to help the son to develop a kind of a stable, positive self-esteem. So your emotional security for your son will assist that boy to develop a stable and positive self-esteem or self-image, if we want to put it. Now, when we say stable and positive self-image, that is, he has a kind of, you can say, a role model, somebody he can look up to and say, if it were to be my daddy doesn't behave this way. So he must learn that from you as a father. Let's avoid situation where children are picking negative things from you as a father. So that emotional security, you see, if you are down emotionally, some will say your melancholy, your spirit will be down. And when a child is down emotionally, there is no way learning can take place. There is no way. But a lot of things will being down emotionally mean your mindset, your inner being, you are just at low esteem. So no information will be to come in, but that child will be disturbed internally. So as a father, you are expected to support your child emotionally. Be free with that child. Let him be able to, your son, let him be able to come to you, express things, tell you what is happening, then you mentor him the right way. The number two things we need to look at is role modeling. Role modeling. So whether you believe it or not, a father serves as a primary role model for their sons. You as a father, you are the number one role model that your son will see. When he wakes up in the morning, he sees you. Sometimes, no wonder, sometimes they mimic or imitate what you do. Sometimes they say what you call your mom, your wife, what you call their mom. If you are calling their mom sweetheart, you discover that the child believes that the mother's name is sweetheart. The child begins to call the mom that same name. So you are a role model, and that is one of your primary responsibility, which you must not allow anything to affect. So you must demonstrate how to manage emotion to that your son, and also handle stress. Whether you believe it or not, men, they are the most people that are stressed here on earth. I'm not saying the female that are not stressed, but in real sense, men go through a lot of things for the family, and those things are enough stress for man. So you must teach that boy how to manage emotions, how to handle stress, and how to resolve conflicts. Please take note of those three major things. You must be able to teach your son how he to manage emotions, his emotions, so that he doesn't overreact on every little things in school, with his peer groups. How will he handle stress and how to resolve conflicts? Whether you believe it or not, such things will happen. It do happen mostly among the guys than even the female. So you must be able to teach that guy, let him know how to go about managing some of these things. And having done that, then you must also ensure that your son emulates of your good attributes or character or behavior. And that will influence emotional regulations and interpersonal relationship with others. Whatever you want to do certain things, carry the little boy along. Don't say that it's too small. If you have even a farm, or if you have a pet you are training within house, let the guy get used to those pets. Don't say he's a small boy. Teach him little things, household things, some things can do on his own. And the second thing I want us to look at, development of identity and masculinity. Development of identity. Number one, under development of his identity as a father, you must let him know identity formulation as a guy. There are stages. You, as a father, you must contribute significantly to your son's sense of identity. Now, you must let him know that as a guy, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what your makeup is. So he doesn't begin to behave like the other female. Engaging in what I call share activities and conversation about personal value. Let him know the effect of hard work. Even setting a life goal will help your son to even develop a clear and he will have confidence of himself. You can help him identify what he wants to become in life. I'm not saying you should choose for him. Assist him. What are your likes? What area do you intend to, end up your life in? Support him, guide him, so that he will form his own identity, the way he is supposed to be, or what he intends to achieve in life. Those are part of your responsibility in developing identity. Then the second one under this development of identity is a concept of masculinity. Now, father must play a major role in shaping the son's understanding that you are the one that will play that major role, just like the mother should do otherwise to the female child. So you must do that to your son. Yeah, as a healthy, or what I say, in a healthy father-son relationship, you must encourage a kind of balanced view of masculinity. That's what I mean by that is combining strength with empathy, and you must be assertive with kindness at times. And also ensure that he is independent and cooperative. Train him, let him know that he must be independent as a guy. He must not always expect things to be done for him all the time. Let him know that a time will come in his life that he's going to be on his own. He will be like you. He will have his own wife and he will take care of his own children. Begin to imbibe that knowledge into him from childhood. Let him know that a man will take responsibility for all that he's doing. Let him know that no matter the social welfare, the package the government may have, let him know that he also has a role to play. So by the time he's aware of that, excuse me, that might, encourage him to try and take a bold step in life. That will encourage him to want to achieve more. And don't be a lazy father towards the child, but be responsible towards him. The number 3 is social and moral development. Social and moral development. This particular one, we must be careful as a father so that we don't allow our own social life. You are mature, you are an adult. Certain things you can do, you can take. The mere fact that you take it does not mean you should carry your son along. Allow him to get to that adulthood and decide on his own. For instance, maybe you're a father, you drink a lot, and you feel there's nothing wrong in it. Of course, to some people, just a little wine, this and that. But you don't encourage your child at that tender age to just go into such things. So you need to guide him. Don't allow your own social and moral development to override his own. You must balance issue. Now, father must be a positive social, you must ensure a positive social interaction with your son. And even you must have a good communication skill with him, so that when he's confronted with any kind of issue, he will be able to seek for your advice. But when he see you as that wicked father, he will run away from you. He will take advice from his peer group, which might lead him astray. So the social skill. So under the social and moral development, we are referring to two major things: the social skills and moral guidance. So these social skills we are referring to here specifically is relating to your relationship with your son. Let him be free. Have interaction with him. Don't let him be a distance to you. Don't let him be afraid. Let him, anything that comes to him, be able to say, Daddy, my friend said this, or what do you think about it? What is this or that? So let him be able to come to you for advice. Don't be distant. Don't allow your work to take the place of your responsibility as a father to your son. Then the number 2 is the moral guidance, whether you like it or not. This moral guidance, it is the responsibility of the father, majorly the responsibility of the father. Because if you play that role, you guide him morally, it's going to have an impact on his value. It is going to have an impact, a moral value on that child, which will affect its integrity and sense of responsibility, and will also have a multiplier effect on his ethical behavior. Naturally, he will just discover that some things are morally not good because he has not learned it from you. He will just discover that by moral standard, this thing is not supposed to be. It's meant for adults. It's not meant for teenagers. I'm not supposed to be exposed to this. You should be able to differentiate if you play that role very well. Now, and you need to discuss some moral, I will call it dilemma within. Situation where they are between two opinion or decisions. Allow the child to be free so that he can come to you. Then the other thing I want to talk here is academic and professional guidance. Now we're looking at the effect or role of good relationship between father and son. So you must guide him academically and professional guidance. Now, when you talk of academic encouragement. So under this academic and professional guidance, we'll be talking about academic encouragement and career mentorship. Now, academic encouragement, you are just as a father to show interest in your son's education and also encourage him academically. So, and that's when you encourage him, that will boost your son's motivation and also his performance in school. Because you are there to give him the support. No matter how the school is going, there are certain things you must know more than him. No matter how brilliant he is, he will be learning some things that you have learned before. So you must guide him. Don't leave, even when they give them homework or whatever, you can take you can just go through, see whatever he's doing, and give him a thumb up when he's doing well, or say, oh boy, give me a chop knuckle, or whatever slang is prevalent over there. Just encourage him. And when he's not even doing well, don't discourage him. You can do better. No, you don't do it this way, you do it this way. Not that you just kill his, you don't even know anything, you're a dollar. No. You tell him how to go about it. Support him homework. And we, especially with the fathers, even attend some of his school events. We will leave it on, no, I got no time, let the mother go and do that. We hardly go for school events. It's always good as a father once in a while. Make out time. If the school is having activities, be present there with it. Your presence also counts. And when you go there, that will foster love between you and your son. So please, I want us to take note of that. I know the mothers are always there. Then career mentorship. This is also very important. Career mentorship. As a father, the father can also provide a kind of valuable career guidance for the son. Now, when I said valuable career guidance, I'm referring to you offer a kind of insight into those various professions that we can have, letting him see the integrity of all those professions. If you want to become a mechanical engineer, this and this and this and this are what mechanical engineer will do. If you want to be this, but some of them, they just hear it, oh, I want to be a doctor. Let them know what and what it entails so that they can form their own opinion. You might tell them, I want to be a mechanic. Oh, you're going to be dirty. You go under the car. So, no, daddy, I don't want to do that, because he doesn't know what is involved. So by the time you mentor your child, show him, give an example, you must have people around you that are that are in that line of profession. You can even refer to the person. Look at Betty's dad is a medical doctor, is this. You can cite examples so that the child will form his own, he will make his own decision, and it will help the son develop skill that is needed for future success. So that skill needed for future success is usually come from mentorship. I must tell you the truth. It comes from mentorship. I can give you a good example, just like our mother Queen Elizabeth Lucas now. I remember those days when I was in high school, what you call it over there. At least she was there for me, encouraging me, don't do this, don't do that. And I took a lot of things from my words those days, over almost about 38 years or something ago. And that gave me a kind of succor. I could push forward, even when my mates were into something else. And today I have no cause to regret. And that's why I could still be on our platform. But she has also contributed. That is the usefulness of mentorship, which a father is expected to do for the son. So I want us to look at our ways, if one way or the other. And if we are saying son, it doesn't mean it also affects your daughter. So if you're a father, whatever you do for the son, you also do for your daughter as well. But we're just looking at father-son relationship. It doesn't mean that we can't have father-daughter relationship. All the same, but we just take it that way. So you help them in their career, encourage them in their career, academic encouragement, and also career mentorship. Mentorship has to do with gradual stage from one step to the other. You look at what the child is good at. If he's good at mathematics, like biology or anything, you guide him so that he will not go into the wrong profession and begin to regret in future. Then enhancing life skills. Now, most youths today, they are faced with problem because they are not acquiring skills. And whether you like it or not, skills are changing, they're evolving. So many things are coming up. Of course, we are in the AI technology now. So many things that human beings are doing have been taken over. So there, we need to acquire more skills. Now, under this enhancing life skill, I'm going to look at two major things here: problem-solving skills and financial literacy. Now, no matter what you do in life, for you to be great, you must possess this problem-solving skill.
Love pani.
You must possess this problem-solving skills. Now, any product that break through a market, if there's a new product is selling like fire, that product has been able to solve a particular problem. If the product is not useful, people will not go after it. The usefulness of a product is a problem solving to a particular person. So that problem solving skill, father must be able to encourage the child on it. So, but the father who involve their sons in decision making, maybe process within the family or problem solving activity, help them to develop a kind of critical reasoning and independent decision making skills. Who says that simple thing within the house, you can't ask your son, you say, Bobby, what do we do to, maybe you have a pet, what do we do to whatever name you call your dog, and say, I'm thinking of doing this, do we change the place we're putting it? Allow the child to also contribute. So if, and eventually if you say, no, daddy, don't put the house on the left side, let's put his house on the right hand side. And you do that, he's happy that his decision also counts within the house. And it's also how to develop this problem solving skill for your son is also by giving him practical tasks to do, such as repairing household items or planning family activities. You are going for a particular, maybe an outing, you tell, oh yeah, David, go and write up, go and do sketch of what and what we are going to do at the beach. Let him have a kind of responsibility. Let him think, what do we do when we get to the beach? What and what do we eat? Go and itemize him. You give him practical tasks to solve, just to make him think and use his IQ and intelligence. The number two under enhancing life skill, we talk of financial literacy. Financial literacy. Now, you teaching your son about financial management is very important. You must teach him about financial management. It is one thing to have money, it's another thing to manage your fund. And this financial management will include budgeting and investment, or budgeting, saving, and investment. Now, you don't just spend money without saving or thinking of how to duplicate or multiply the fund. So, and investment is also another crucial thing that a father must ensure that the son get into. Now, if he is used to saving, is used to budgeting before spending. Are you getting it? He doesn't spend or do impulse spending. He doesn't do impulse spending. He budgets what he wants to spend. This is what I'm going to use this week, and he's after, and he followed it judiciously. That child is learning some skills which will help him in future endeavor. Then the other one is supporting independency and autonomy. You must encourage your son to be independent and know that he has to take certain decisions on his own. Now, encouraging and under this independent and autonomy, you must encourage independence, and building confidence. Those two things are very important. A father-son relationship must balance the guidance by encouraging the son to be independent. And of course, father can support their sons in making their own choices and also learning from the mistake they make in order to be independent or have autonomy in future. You are not to force decision on your son, but you can guide him. You can recommend options for him to choose from. Then the second one is building confidence. When your son, if he does well in anything, you celebrate his success, and that and provide constructive feedback on failures. Whenever he doesn't do well, give him some constructive feedback. Oh, you've done this. If you have done this, maybe you will have achieved this. It's okay. Next time, do it this way. Put in more effort and this. That is it. You give him constructive feedback rather than crucify him, rather than do whatever will make him unhappy. But where there is success, ensure that you celebrate him. That will give him a kind of confidence. Then lastly, we'll be talking of challenges and adaptation. Challenges and adaptation. There is no way there will not be challenges in life. Even between the father and the son, there will always be one or two things between them. So under challenges and adaptation, I'll be talking of challenging dynamics and balancing authority and friendship. I think that when I get to number 2, I will tell you one or two things. Balancing authority and friendship. Now, challenging dynamics. The father-son relationship evolve over time. Number 1, with father needing to adapt the role as the son is growing from childhood to adulthood. How you would treat the child when he was in his childhood stage will differ by the time you get to teenage or adulthood. So that's changing dynamics. You must change your pattern, your response according to the stage that the child is. And this will require a kind of ongoing communication and also a willingness to understand and also support your son changing needs and the aspiration that he is having in life. So this changing dynamics, you must not treat him the same way you treat him when he was a child, very young. By the time he's getting to adulthood, you must change in your communication, the way you react to him. I hope that is well understood. So there must be that dynamics in the changes of their stages. What you can tell him as a child will be different from when he has reached that adulthood. He can now make one or two decisions on his own. But this number 2 is where I want us to take note of balancing authority and friendship as a father. You must be able to balance that authority and friendship. Now, finding the right balance between an authority figure and a friend can be challenging, because now he's growing, or he has even grown, and you are the father, and you have certain authority over your son. But you must, and he's also your friend, you must know that. But an effective father-son relationship will involve mutual respect, where father will guide and discipline while also being approachable and supportive. This is the key word I want us to know. Balancing authority and friendship. A father and son relationship, there must be mutual respect for each other. The father should respect the right of the child or the son. The son should respect the father. But there are occasions that the father will have to guide and possibly discipline the son in such a way that he will still be approachable and supportive of the son. Don't go to the extent that you discipline your son and your son has to run away from the house. No, that is too bad. So you must be able to balance the two. You must be able to balance the two. Your discipline and your relationship with your son. And lastly, as I conclude, the role of an effective father-son relationship, they are extensive and also impactful, which we cannot exhaust all of them here. But we need to know that as a father, you must be a role model to your son. You must support him emotionally. There must be emotional security by you. You must serve as a role model to your son. You must assist in his development of identity and masculinity. And by identifying formation, by his identity formation, you must also help him. And also the concept of masculinity, then assist him to develop social skills so that he will not be timid even among his peers. He will be active and agile. He will contribute to whatever discussion they are having. He will be knowledgeable about a lot of things. Don't let them teach him what he needs to know from you from outside. That might make him go wide. Teach him the necessary thing. Don't feel he's still a boy. Let him know. Then you must guide him morally. You must guide him.
I want to believe you still continue, and we are still learning very important topic this morning. Okay, continue. Continue, sir. No, we can't hear you.
The problem solving. You must problem solving skill, then financial literacy, and finally, as a father, be there for your son. Let him be able to come to you, ask for whatever advice that he needs, be approachable to your son. And as you do all this, I can assure us that he will be so free to relate with you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I will allow a few times for question if we have.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Very important that sometimes we shy away from. All these little things matters a lot in building family. And you can see that if you see the statistics of the people in the prison and people that are causing trouble, you can see how high rate it is. And if we can trace some of the problem or challenges that they faced before they end up where they are, you will see that it's all down to the relationship between a father and son. Because like what Mr. Olaniyi have shared with us today, you could see that some of it we are lacking of. And I'm glad that we are raising it up during this, our masterclass, so that we can learn from it and also transform our relationship, most especially our fathers and sons, so that they can build that relationship. I have one question for you, but before I go on with my question, let me welcome our new visitor in our midst, Mr. Bazi Mutela. You're welcome, sir, from Liberia. Thank you so much for joining us today. I encountered with you on Facebook. You are doing a fantastic job. You are even becoming a teacher of mine. I mean, learning a lot from your inspirational and motivational posting, especially encouraging every one of us to keep reading and reading, because reading is lifelong. Reading is like learning. So you need to read, you need to learn, you need to research. And he has made it upon himself to help majority of us so that we can know the type of books that we need to buy and read, and also reviewing all the books. So I want to say well done, sir, and welcome to YYCI platform. Also, I want to welcome Ambassador Roland Johnson. We've missed you for some time, but thank you for joining us today. May I request that you open your camera if it's possible? I just want to see the face of Mr. Bazi and Ambassador Roland in case they are bumping into you anywhere in the world. Just for me to just see your face. I know it's not easy for sometimes, but looking at your beautiful face is very important so that we are not strangers when we meet in any places. All right. Thank you so much for opening your camera. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, now you've listened to, I'm glad my PA is also in the house. Ambassador Lukman Nuruddin Adeniyi, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you might not be able to open your camera. That is fine. That is fine. We understand. I just want to see the face of Ambassador Roland and the new person that just joined us. So that is why I have humbly requested that they open their camera. They can switch sometimes, switch off sometimes. They are free to do that, as long as we know that we are dealing with a human being, not just a picture sometimes. If you have any questions, please, do you have any questions? I want to also use this time to thank all our leaders on the platform of Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Rita Ilori is our coordinator for Facebook, and she is doing a fantastic job. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate all the investment you are making for YYCI. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ambassador Rita Ilori. I also want to thank Mr. Isaiah Gwangwe. Thank you. I think you are from Liberia too, if I'm correct. Thank you so much for joining us today. I also want to appreciate one of our great leaders in the house that just joined us, Professor Karudin. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. So we just finished the first section, and question, yes, questions are rolling in. Please ask your questions. Before I ask my own question, let me ask, welcome, sir, Professor Karudin. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so the first question has just rolled in on our platform here from Ambassador Roland M. Johnson. And the question for you, sir, Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya. The question is, how can fathers encourage their sons to express their emotions openly?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, which is a very vital question. It's a natural process. For a son to be able to express him or herself to the father, you as the father must create that atmosphere for that child. The key word is for you to create that atmosphere where he's able to be free with you. And how do you do that? By drawing him closer to yourself, being a friend, not just a father. You want to know a lot about him, talking to him softly, assisting him in any possible ways, especially on things that he's doing or things that he loves. If he loves a pet, getting one for him could be a way of just trying to draw him closer, and always sharing little stories or things with him as well that will be funny, that will make him to be free. So that to the extent that when he even watch a new cartoon, he will be calling, Daddy, have you seen this or this or that? It's a gradual process. It's not a one-off thing, but it is a continuous and a steady plan. But the key word is that you must create that atmosphere, that environment for him. And doing that is to draw him closer, is to take him out, to let him have his ways at times, not all the times, on some things that he wants. Just like I cite an example of maybe you have a pet, you have a house for your dog, and you know that you want to put it at so place, and now ask him, Bobby, where do we put the house of the dog? Let him make one or two decisions, and he will be happy. So create that atmosphere, draw him closer. Don't be that devil father or that father that he comes in, everybody will run into the room. So watch film with him, watch cartoon with him, even though you are not comfortable with it, then by so doing, he'll be able to be free with you. And you ask a question, because sometimes if you don't ask, he won't talk. You ask him when you see his mood. I think the time I spoke on emotional intelligence. What is emotional his emotion related to his usual behavior? Then put question across him. Thank you.
Excellent. I hope you are satisfied with that answer. But let me also, with that same question, let me also just extend it more. Yes, you've shared with us about the relationship with father and son, and that particular question. You can agree with me that the way you will encourage a younger children will be different from the teenagers. I mean, when we say teenagers are different from the younger children. So let's say from 13 or 14 upward. And those ones are growing and they are facing they are facing the world, they are facing life. So how do you create at that moment? Because when we're talking of teenager is where they will be lead to adulthood. You understand? So they still need father at that particular time as well. So the same question, please answer it for the sake of the teenagers.
Okay. Well, for the teenagers, by the time they are beginning to get to 13, they begin to realize themselves. You need to take note of that. They are conscious of their looks. They now know that they cannot just, wear anything anyhow. Rather, they want to cover their body. They're conscious of themselves. So, but what I will still say is that at whatever stage, even though lesser attention, let me use the word lesser attention for the younger one, but whatever you say to them, that they assess so, they want to obey. But at that teenage group, there are a lot of psychological reasoning, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of knowledge they're acquiring, both schools, online, peer group, and the rest of them. So the key word here, I still maintain, is creating that atmosphere, a conducive atmosphere between you and your child. And it will vary from fathers to father. It's not the same to create what I can do to create that atmosphere may not be the same thing with what I will do, you will do. Even when you have two child, are you getting it? What your son hey will accept as a conducive atmosphere may not be what some B will accept.
Yes.
Now, but by and large, the basic truth is that you need to study. That was why I said emotional intelligence comes into play. You need to study the child and knows his emotion is the mood. You need to study the child and know when there is a change in behavioral pattern. The moment a child that does not reply to what you will naturally say to him or her begin to respond back to you, know that there is a shift in information, there is a shift in positioning in his mindset. So then you need to come in and try and caution that child, try and let him know, you don't like that to your dad, this and this and this. That is the atmosphere. Then draw him closer. What's the issue? Why are you reacting this way? Who are your friends? What is happening to you? What are you doing in school? What you need to question that child. The response will now make you to know what to do. But beyond that, when they begin to get to that teenage age, even before then, that atmosphere I'm referring to, you should have been creating it before then. Be encouraging them, draw them to yourself, take them out on a date, outing, be family, what have you. Even just like we said in one of the slide there, that you can give responsibility as a creative responsibility for them. Okay, you are going out on a family picnic or whatever. You can tell the guy, oh yeah, David, go and give us a little, what do you want us to do there? I want you to just prepare something, not the food, list what you want us to do at the picnic. You are giving him a sense of responsibility. Now, there are some things that ordinarily you might not even be looking at. He will put it there. Maybe I want to play volleyball or something that you don't even think of. Then some of those things that he wants to do, then you accommodate some of them. And where you cannot accommodate, you give reasons why you can't do that. But above all, you must create, I keep on saying, that atmosphere that will be conducive for them to respond back to you. And it varies from individuals. But I believe as adults, we know how, if I want to get somebody close to me, I know how I will go about it. So, Lord, let me use the word, Lord, the person to you. Yeah, exactly like that.
Hey, thank you so much for answering that question. And I think many, many more questions are rolling in, which I would like it to answer. Yes, many questions. You know, these topics are very, very, very important in the society, and we need to start talking about it. Just to add to what, and I just want to know if you agree with me. Open communication between the son, I mean, we're talking about the adults now, I mean, the teenagers stroke adults, yeah. Open communication. And I think it's very important. Sometimes sometimes when we're in a good mood, maybe sometimes, because I know men, they likes watching football, that kind of thing. So within the time of the football, it's not just only for excitement, like watching the football, but you also need to be learning some things from watching it. What did you gain from it? So I believe that sometimes when there happens to be watching football, because I use that illustration because that is very common, right? So when they're watching football, maybe within that period, maybe immediately they finish that football, maybe the father can just ask, what do you think about their behavior? What do you think about the skills they're using? Just to create some discussions, because out of this open discussions as well, the young ones can learn. They won't deliberate, I can guarantee you, especially when they reach 15 upward. They won't come to you and tell you their problem. They will definitely, although, as like you said, they are different. Children are different, right? Some of them might want to, yeah, but some of them will not. And also, like you said as well, it depends on the atmosphere you have created even before they reach the teenager. Yes, I agree on that. But what I'm trying to say is that what about those people that they don't come to you? They don't ask you any question. So you, as a father and as an adult, because father are role model, father are mentors, they are coach, they are teachers. So, and as a father, we need to be more mindful of what we say to them to start with, and so that it doesn't scare them away. And then another thing is that we need to also do something like open dialogue, where you can discuss. If many fathers can cultivate the habit of open dialogue at least once a week, you understand, and bring up one topic. You can even start with, what do you think, son, about this thing? Let's take, for instance, what do you think about discouragement when your girlfriend discourages you? What do you think? It's not happening, but what is your, and from there, when they now say, oh, we do this, I do that, yeah, that is also another way you can come in to correct them. So, for example, if they say, if you ask, son, there's something that's bothering me, because there was a time, practically, I mean, this is even me personally. There was a time about 10 years or so, more than 10 years ago, when every week, we hear the news of gangs, kind of group of boys going around, stabbing one another, trying to create one atmosphere of competition. So they go from one borough. It's like they create a borough for themselves that the other borough cannot cross their boundary. And when they cross their boundary, they deal with them. And that is causing a lot of lives. It's, a lot of lives there, because they starve, they fight, they do other things. And my own children were teenagers at that time. So I was scared as well, coming back home. How will I say this? And that was the time we started asking, what is going on with, I just casually just asked, what is going on among these youth? And that is how my own son and my daughter educated me. That, and it's because of this, their oneness, their power, their this thing. I say, really? Do you think it's sensible enough? And I'm glad, because my son said, it doesn't make sense. They're just wasting their time and their lives, because they could have used that time to do something productive. So you are gaining there, isn't it? You are learning also. One thing with fathers, we need to humble ourselves sometimes. Yes, you are older, you are the father of the son, but there are a lot you can also gain from them. You have wisdom, yes. You have experience, yes. But they have energy, and they're into the new, and they can see more than what we are not saying. So open dialogue, I think, add to it. Let me just move on, because we have a lot of questions. Sorry.
Let me just, before you go
Yeah.
on, let me take an extract
Yeah.
from here. I think among what I have said
Yes.
about challenges and adaptation,
Yeah.
which will take care of the question. Then I say under these challenges and adaptation, there are two items: changing dynamics, that's one,
Mm.
and balancing authority and friendship. So under the changing dynamics, I put there that the father-son relationship evolve over time, with the father needing to adapt their role as their son grows from childhood to adulthood. They need to change the role they are playing
Mm.
from childhood to adulthood.
Mm.
This requires ongoing communication
Yeah.
and a willingness to understand and support their sons,
Mm.
changing needs and aspiration. It will happen.
Mm.
But
Mm.
we, the fathers, are in the old school, they are the new schools now. Let me use
Mm.
that word.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Then balancing authority and friendship. This is the key thing here. Finding the right balance between being an authority figure, that's as a father,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend can be challenging.
Yeah.
And you need to be a friend, not only a father to your son, for you to extract or get things from him.
Yeah.
An effective father-son relationship involves mutual respect,
Mm-hmm.
where father guide and discipline, while also being approachable and supportive. I think I laid emphasis,
Yeah.
even when you are disciplined, you will discipline in such a way that you are still being approachable and supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, how do media representations of father-son relationships influence real-life interaction and expectation?
Okay,
Expectations.
the media. Now, of course, the media, they are expected to play a vital role, but sometimes that may not be the case in terms of the discussants or whoever they bring. Sometimes they have a talk show program, they bring some knowledgeable ones, sometimes they bring some that are non-knowledgeable, that are saying things that are not all good for the family. Now, but where the government is having a proper regulatory control over the media, then they know that if they bring someone that will say what is against the constitution of the country, they will be sanctioned. But ordinarily, media is supposed to foster or assist to the relationship between father and sons. But these days, in fact, there's so many things happening. I could give you an example, like in Nigeria, for instance, we have some cross-cultural person, human, you're a male and you decide.
Thank you so much for joining us once again, Professor Karudin, our papa from Malaysia. Thank you so much. As we are waiting for Mr. Odukoya to continue, I want to appreciate Ambassador Oba Adesoji Talabi. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning.
And hello.
Hello, continue.
And you can see that what they are saying is not. Ordinarily, the media is supposed to assist, but these days they are after their money, they are after who the people want to hear, and they bring people that they know that the population will want to hear. But the media is supposed to help the family by passing out good information. But that is not the case these days. I don't know, maybe it's like that in other clients.
Thank you so much, sir. For
yes, you're right, Mr. Odukoya.
Yes.
Media is big business these days.
Yes,
they will tell you what they know the public in your country want to hear. Am I right?
Yeah? Yes.
Huh? Okay.
Yes.
So it's not what we expect them. They are supposed to be independent. They are supposed to be truthful. They are supposed to be honest. They are supposed to tell, and educate our young people, the males and the females and things like that. But no, they are doing a lot of things which you and I are familiar with. Am I right, Dr.
Yes, you are right. You are right, sir. You are right, sir. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution, Professor Karudin, the man of wisdom. Can you believe that Professor Karudin is 75 already, or maybe going to 76? So thank you for your wisdom. We need it every time. Okay. Ambassador Nuruddin also asks another question. What impact does the presence or absence of a father figure have on a son's development?
Well, okay, the impact, of course, the presence or absence, it will have an impact a little, especially where the mother is not rising up to the challenge. For instance, let's assume the absence is due to death, which is an act of God. There's nothing the mother can do. It has happened. It has happened. So all she needs to do, if that is the case, is to put in more effort. Seek for more advice. She has to play dual role in such instance, especially where she has made up her mind not to remarry. And that should not. That does not mean that the child should now be wayward. The mother must rise up and take up that challenge. Yes, I don't want to remarry, maybe I'm age now or something. The father is gone, then she knows she has more work to do. Of course, no matter how bad she might be, there will be some male elderly people around her, either elder one or even younger ones that are male. So if she feels that there are some challenges she cannot really deal with, she can intentionally possibly allow the child go for little holiday, at the brother's place, and she will have pre-informed the brother what is coming, what the child is coming up with, so that they can support her to fill that vacuum of the father. But in real sense, of course, there will be vacuum, but she can't kill herself. That is what she has come to realize. She has to put in more effort, read more book, acquire more knowledge, and play a dual role, especially if that is the case. But where it is as a result of maybe divorce or family issue, if you feel she's not okay to take care of the child, then allow the child to go to the father for better care. I think that's what I will say here.
Okay. Another last question, because our next speaker is here already. The last question for you, sir, Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya. Thank you so much. How can father model positive behavior and decision making for their sons? I
Can you
don't
come again?
understand that question
How long or
properly.
what?
How can fathers model positive behavior and decision making for their son? Maybe I don't understand. If
I
you
think
can
that
repeat.
maybe what the person is trying to say is that
Okay.
what will be the impact of father positive behavior
Okay.
and decision making for their son be? What will be the impact? Of course, it might have a positive impact, but we must be very careful not to make 100% decision for our son, especially if it has to do with his career. Because if there is anything in future, say, daddy, you are the one that forced me into it. Now, rather than making a full decision for the son, just like I said, you can guide. You can guide the child. You can support. I think there I spoke of academic encouragement and career mentoring. You can encourage the child academically. You can mentor the child so that he will know what career or profession he or she wants to go into. That is what I'm referring to. You are not expected as a father to just, my son, you must be a medical doctor, possibly because you have you have an hospital somewhere. You can encourage the child. If you see he's doing well in the science line, you can encourage him, then let him form his own opinion. Don't force a child to go into what is not. It will boomerang later in future. Thank you.
Wow. Very, very important. Okay. That is where we will end. I mean, that is how we are going to release you today. Thank you so much. But you can still be around, because the next speaker also is going to be sharing on very important topic like yours, because today is about father. Remember, we are entering into June, and sometimes in June, we're going to be celebrating Father's Day. So these videos, we're going to be spreading it across the world, so that all our men, our husband, our father, grandfather, and the young ones can learn from this video. Because it's not too late for us to change. And transformation is ongoing until we reach that certain age, or until we go to heaven. So we can't stop transforming our relationship. And relationship between father and son is very, very important. So we need to keep talking about it. So the next person will be coming to share with us again on that, because your knowledge will be different from another person. We are not doing competition, but we want to gain as much knowledge as we want. And I think I'm going to also engage Professor Carridin, if he's still around, after the next speaker or the other next speaker that will be joining us, if he's
I
still
am
around, so that he also can be able to teach on this topic. So we have at least about 1 hour for you to prepare, sir. So as our
I
elderly
don't need
as our elderly brother in the house.
I don't need to prepare. I'll share off the cuff my
Okay,
own
that's good.
experience as a
Okay.
father and now as a grandfather.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. Okay,